Shalom. This is gonna that might be a short one, but this is for anyone that might be going through a dark period and trying to find a way out. Hopefully you can find a way through the way I found a way out. So this is somewhat of a play by play to being brought out of a dark space. Because for years now, all I've wanted was peace. I remember going from house to house, searching, but found more confusion. Why? Because every house was living according to the flesh, and everybody had a different way that seemed right to them. Religiosity. Didn't know it at the time, but Elder Johnson gave clarity on that with his lesson called religiosity. And it is everywhere. From have a blessed day to a shoulder shrugging, thank you, Jesus. We, and I'm putting myself in this because we were better actors than Denzel, referring to my adulthood. I was a grown kid, according to the flesh, yet a newborn, according to the spirit. And getting into it, how I saw it, now looking back, Jehovah was probably looking at me like this. Proverbs 7 and 6, going down. For at the window of my house, I looked through my casement and beheld among the simple ones. I discerned among the youths a young man void of understanding. That was definitely me. Passing through the street near her corner, and he went the way to her house. And behold, there met him a woman, spirit, with the attire of an harlot. That was self explanatory. And subtle, crafty of heart, understanding in mind. That attire, yeah, that attire was that of a pimp without a cane. She is loud and stubborn, that spirit, her feet, her desires, abided not in her house. Now is she without, now in the streets, and lieth in wait at every corner. What I didn't know at the time, Genesis 2:16, and the Spirit of God our God commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden thou mayest freely eat, freely learn. But of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil thou shalt not eat, learn of it, for in the day that thou eatest thereof thou shalt surely die. So at that time, just going with the flow, following traditions of the world, I thought I could find peace within a stressful life of confusion. Instead, I found that all these buildings are death traps with smooth talkers and live entertainment that leave you half deaf, which I understand why, because they up there talking about gibberish, mixing this and that, and it's basically adult clubs for Yeah. Yeah. Cleaned up adult clubs that you can take your kids to. Picking back up. Proverbs 7:21. With her much fair speech, she calls him to yield. With the flattering of her lips, she forced him. He goeth after her straightway, as an ox to the slaughter. And that's really where I wanted to cut it right there, because that's definitely what it was like. Just blind leading the blind. Picking it up at 26, where she had cast down many wounded. Yea, many strong men have been slain by her. Her house is the way to hell, going down to the chambers of death. Because I definitely was searching these places, and finally, after dealing with everything at home, trying to figure out what's going on within me, tried to take to the church thinking, okay, God's in this place. Let's see what's happening here. This is my mindset at the time. And sat down, talked to the leader of that organization. When I say that man helped drive me into the deepest depression I've ever known and left me with no help, but said that I owed God money, it seemed as though this was the only thing anyone cared about and had nothing to teach. It was at that moment that I truly thought that, because yeah, sometime later, after dumping all of those buildings, which that was the key moment, I dumped all the buildings, did not step foot back in there. Started dumping people with broken promises and confusion. And quite frankly, I had given up on life. I prayed, but I didn't know who I was talking to. And I said something along this line: Psalms 60 and 11. And this was quite a sincere prayer. Give us help from trouble, for vain is the help of man. The internal peace that I was looking for, it had to be something solid, because I had nothing solid to lean on that could bring peace. And I didn't know Jehovah at the time. Along the journey, everything I tried let me down. When it mattered, I was beginning to wean away. Upon detaching from the breast, I was in trial and error mode yet again. Pulled away from narcotics, lost people from that. Stopped drinking, lost people from that. Started focusing on my mental and physical health in a positive way, lost people for that. See the trend? Is Isaiah 28:9, focusing on the end. Whom shall he teach knowledge, and whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. Pulling away from all those things, they were definitely huge distractions from focusing on what mattered. Because all that, the narcotics, the alcohol, the fluff of the world, does not matter. Yeah, we need things from the world to survive while we're here. However, I made them about everything. They consumed my life, every little thing. It just to fit in, just to fit in. But when I started gradually letting those things go, the real started sitting in. But it was a shift. Mm, Right. Mm-hmm. Right. Yep, not there yet. Okay. Um. Mhm. Okay. Here is the shift. Ah, truly thought I had this set up. Ah, here, what I started doing. Ecclesiasticus or Sirach 30 and 23. Love thine own soul and comfort thy heart. Remove sorrow far from thee, for sorrow hath killed many, and there is no profit therein. And I do mean no profit. But I had to figure out what love was. Did not know. I encourage you to research that one. Dive deep. Promising yourself and holding to it. Promise Jehovah. Hold to it. I started facing issues though. Because drawing away from the breast, the issues started coming from the world that were still holding to the breast. And some of you may understand what I'm about to say. Have you ever felt so much pain that you can't make a sound when you cry? I was at that level and was constantly questioning myself like, what did I do to deserve this type of treatment? Being as nice as you can be, being as respectful and being there for others, but then when it's their turn to be there for you and it's a real, genuine heart to heart, your heart's there, but they uh, leave you hanging, disappear. And then the golden question: am I wrong for cleaning up my life and searching for truth? Just flood of questions, which is where this came in. Ecclesiasticus or Sirach 37:14. For a man's mind is sometime wont to tell him more than 7 watchmen that sit above in a high tower. Because when I say the thoughts, the questions rushing all at once, emotions rushing all at once, building up like a knot in your chest. Many call it anxiety, but it's definitely much more than that. And I know this has to be hitting somebody. Don't have to say anything, but having been through it, you know what I'm talking about. And as the thoughts were racing, every moment of the day, the events kept happening. And then I was seeing the light. It clicked. Ecclesiasticus, Sirach 13:4. If thou be for his profit, he will use thee. But if thou have nothing, he will forsake thee. those drawn to the breast. That's what they do. Verse 5. If thou have anything, he will live with thee. Yea, he will make thee bear and will not be sorry for it. And this, so true. If anyone's ever been falsely accused and, yeah, taken in custody for something you did not do, but if more than one is saying something against you, hmm, they're not as likely to listen to you, are they? But that was the last event. Bearing in mind, did not know Jehovah at the time. And that brought about the attempt. And for that, this came to mind. There is a way which seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. And I assure you, they are. But here's what must happen. Oh, right there. Give not thy mind to heaviness, and afflict not thyself in thine own counsel. So important. The gladness of the heart is the life of man, male or female, and the joyfulness of a man prolongeth his days. While I was at the hospital, I went silent, dead cold, because a part of me died. Some time later, for those that caught the reference, that's when I picked up the book for the first time in my life. Started with the 66 version. Little birdie told me about the Apocrypha. Things got rolling from there, and the flip side transition began. Second Esdras 14, 14, and 15. Let go from thee mortal thoughts. Cast away the burdens of man. Put off now the weak nature. 15. And set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee, and haste thee to flee from these times. These mortal thoughts, keeping up with trends, keeping up with brands, keeping up with things that are fleeting and do not matter, and thinking, oh, if I have this, it'll get better. No, it won't. I promise you it won't. Been down that road, having this or that, or it just attracts the wrong type of people that when you let those things go, they go with it. Meaning they were never for you. They were there for what they could gain, be it tension or etc. The weak nature, beating up on yourself, being the footstool for others just to fit in. You know, they say horrendous things to you. Believe me, I've ah, for, forgiveness and compassion is truly a superpower. But just to, oh, because I love this person, deal with it. Don't do it to yourself. Setting aside the thoughts that are most heavy. Hmm, that that's a true confession. Put it out there. Yeah, there's pressure to do it. Yeah, it doesn't feel comfortable, but once you do it, a relief, that burden, it comes off. It's no longer heavy. It's out there, and it is what it is. And most importantly, flee it. Let it go. Occupy that time with Jehovah. Because before I understood spiritually, a few things were hitting and some struck a chord. For instance, after that experience, Luke 14:26 and 27 saw it in a brand new light. Well, I was seeing it for the first time then. But it reads, if providing any man come to me and hate not his father and mother and wife and children and brethren and sisters, yea, and his own life also, he cannot be my disciple. And that own life, keeping up with all these things of the world, being included in the world versus just passing through, cannot be his disciple. And whosoever do not bear his cross and come after me cannot be my disciple. Saw it in a brand new light. And, well, seeing it for the first time, it hit so hard that it felt like gravity had multiplied and I couldn't move. Months went by, staying in the race. And after many experiences, I finally began to see what Jehovah was putting in my face. Up until that point, I was like a deer looking at oncoming headlights, then a bucking horse, then with further guidance, I learned how to be still. What do I mean? I looked up from keeping my face down and focusing only on Jehovah, allowing everything else pass away. And because those things, I had no desire to be included in those things anymore because they're foolishness. They are temporary, fleeting things that profit nothing. So I let it go. The questions that were bouncing around in my head, what am I doing? And do I really need to be here? All these questions, they just disappeared because I knew what my focus was. And that was being obedient to Jehovah, following my true desire. Everything else, afterthought. Doing that, I looked up and the darkness was gone. More than just not doing it and it's in the past, but understanding why I did those things, that's what truly helped. And choosing Jehovah's life over dwelling in the past. Yeah, I can't change the past, so I don't dwell in it. Confess it, keep it kicking. Doing those things, John 14:27. Peace I leave with you. My peace I give unto you. Not as the world giveth, give I unto you. Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid. Trust me, let it go, because it does lead to death. So, with that, shalom.